Okay guys, I will show you my approach to the variables. This is generic, it can work with any FreeCAD feature, but it's especially useful for Assembly 4 because in Assembly 4 we use sketchers to bind the assemblies and to animate it. So the idea is to create a base sketch with some variables to change it in time. I will create something very easy. It's a spiral example, and we'll bind it. So let's start. Create something here, a new document. Save it somewhere. Yeah, test. Okay, let's create a sketch, a simple sketch for an X spiral. An X spiral is just distance and an angle. Okay, so the idea is that this distance will change in time, and this angle will change accordingly to the distance. So we have this is fixed now, but we can bind it to variables. So with this new feature, I can create a script to export some variables. Let's try. Call it bars, for example. Let's remove this example. Okay, what I need a length, and this length will be just times time, right? It will be let's say the length is a function of time and some scale. So define a scale variable, 1 for example. So our length will be times per scale. And because if the sketch length is 0, probably the FreeCAD will remove the constraint. So I will add a little safety 1 unit here. So length is minimum 1 and is time times scale. Okay. So now define the angle. Our angle will be just our length let's say 5 degrees per 5 degrees per length unit, right? And make it I think I can leave it without mod, but just to make something interesting. So I have defined it three variables here. One scale is a free variable, is independent of anything, and two not free variables, length that is dependent on time and scale, and angle that is dependent on length, right? So save this create this node here, and this spokes these three things: angle, length, and scale, and time. So I know length and angle depends on time. So if I change time, for example 10 here, I can see the change here. But I also know that length depends on the scale. So if I change the scale, it affects the other variables, right? So now bind these variables to the sketcher. So let's go to the sketch and change these constraints to be bars, our object, length in this case, and this angle will be bars angle, right? Okay, so right now, if I change something here, for example, it will affect the sketch, right? If I change the scale to independent, it's okay. Now I want to animate this with a timer, so I will add a timer. Let's say from 0 to 100, and now I want that ticks of this timer will drive this script. So here I will bind my timer time value to this input. So right now, any change in the timer will affect the bars. Let's see, for example, manually, if I move. Yes. Now we can just turn on the timer. It's too slow because it's 1 tick per second, but I can make it faster, 10 ticks per second. Okay. It stopped at 100 because the limit, but I can make it pendulum, so it can start and go back again. Make it a little faster. Well, my computer is lagging, but you know, that's it. So I have defined variables. Variables supports arbitrary Python expressions. In the little script, let's stop this. In the little script here, you can write any Python. This script is not embedded in the document. It's saved externally. So you can see here, file is saved in the same directory of your document. But you can bind here any Python file, external Python file. So another advantage is that because this is external, I can use the same script with the same variable definition from multiple FreeCAD documents. So I can have, for example, one part in one document that has a diameter and another part in another document with the same diameter. So if I change the variable, it will update the diameter in both files, and this is very powerful when creating parameterized designs in assemblies. I hope you like my approach, and any feedback will be welcomed. Thank you very much. I'm working on this, still working on this to make it production ready, and we'll publish it, of course, in GitHub to the users. Thank you.